I love making pizza outdoors. And for the last several years, I've been making it outside in this rig. But I decided it's time to replace this rickety ass pizza oven and put a more permanent structure in place. And I would do that utilizing my many years of skilled trades experience and learning from other trades. So, let's talk about it. So in order to build this behemoth, I needed something that was going to be structurally sound for it to sit on. I started by prepping and pouring a 4-foot by 4-foot concrete slab. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be quite a bit of weight resting on this, and I wanted nothing to shift when it was all said and done. So I've done concrete pouring in the past, that's not a big deal, but I've never done masonry before. I've never laid a brick and mortared it to another brick. It seems simple in concept, and I guess it is, if you're familiar with it, but as a first timer, I was kind of uncertain about the whole process. However, I've learned throughout the years of working in a skilled trade, working next to masons, and I've picked up tips and tricks along the way. So I built my cinder block base, which acted as a chamber to hold all of my firewood. A lot of people thought in the beginning that that was going to be where the fire would burn, but that's just a chamber for it to hold all the wood. Once that was all set and cleaned up and cured, I then had to pour a 36 by 36 inch capstone to sit on top of that cinder block base. I was unable to source a 36 by 36 capstone because it is quite large, so I had to resort to pouring my own. Once that was poured and cured, I then set it on top of my cinder block base, and then I attached it using an outdoor adhesive so it wouldn't shift around. The next step was building the dome, or a dome-like structure, and it was actually pretty simple. I needed a couple pieces of plywood, a bunch of 2x4s, some screws, and a chunk of sheet metal. And what that does, it acts as a form for me to start laying those bricks as I'm building the dome in the future. Prior to setting that dome on top of the capstone, I had to lay my fire bricks on top of the capstone, and then the dome on top of that. Because we're working with temperatures at around 2,000 degrees when you have a fire going in an oven, you need a fire rating everywhere. From your fire brick, to your clay bricks, to your fire mortar. Now, laying the bricks was the most difficult part about this entire process, because for every brick that you laid, the next one had to go on a bit of a radius to match that dome. And as that process went through, the mortar lines on the outside got thicker and thicker and thicker, as you can see. But once I got all those bricks set and interlocked, I then laid the back wall and had to move on to the chimney portion of the project. Again, the chimney was just as difficult as pouring the dome itself, because you were taking a flat structure, which is the chimney, and attaching it to a dome structure. So again, I had to play with the mortar to make sure that I could get everything nice, square, and level. But once that was taken care of, it looked phenomenal. Needed a little bit of cleaning, because the one thing that I forgot to do as I was putting this together was washing and wiping off the mortar after I'd already poured all the bricks. It's not that I forgot. It's because because the mortar was so thick on the outsides, I couldn't really touch it a whole lot until it was set, because every time I touched it, the brick would try to shift a bit. But it did make for a painstaking process in cleaning all the mortar off the bricks. But I now thankfully have a permanent structure, and I gotta say, it adds to the beauty of the backyard. It jumps out. It's a conversation piece, it looks phenomenal, and it is the crown jewel of my backyard now. And unlike the exercise bike that sits in my spare room, that pizza oven is actually going to get used. In the process of starting this project and completing, I realized one thing. I love pizza. I guess you have to love pizza if you're going to put this damn thing in your backyard. But I love pizza. And I grew up in the restaurant business where we had a pizza shop. In fact, I spent my entire life working in pizza joints. So I'd like to think, after 35 years of being around pizza, I'm kind of an authority on the subject. I'm kind of biased when it comes to growing up in my family's restaurant thinking their pizza was the best. But I have had the luxury of working across so many different pizza joints and trying so many different styles of pizza. I did some rough calculations, and by rough calculations I mean I'm guessing, but I am certain after crunching the numbers, that I have jackhammered about 43,220 pieces of pizza in my lifetime. And like working in a skilled trade, you become better with repetition. So I'd like to think that I'm great at pumping pizza down the old face hole, which then created the birth of a brand new YouTube channel called One Slice Reviews. Yep, it's a play on One Bite Reviews that Dave Portnoy does from Barstool Sports. And actually, it's not a play. It's a total ripoff is what it is. But Portnoy's not coming to London, Ontario anytime soon. And the people of London, Ontario want to know where the best pizza is in the city. So I'm taking on this responsibility. I'll be going around to different pizza joints across the city, rating them out of 10, giving my unbiased review, and finally determining which is the best pizza here in London. So I'll post a link to my new YouTube channel called One Slice Reviews, and I'm hoping you check it out and let me know your honest thoughts on my reviews. Or give me some recommendations on places to go. I would love to hear in the comment section some of the pizza joints here in London that I should be trying out. Anyhow, keep an eye out for that channel, One Slice Reviews. I'll be posting a lot of content on there. And in the meantime, keep an eye out on this channel because I'm introducing a new segment very soon highlighting women in skilled trades that are making a positive impact on social media. And as I'm starting university very soon, I'll be documenting some of that process as I go and putting it on this channel as well. So I'm hoping you tune in for that as I move along. So until next time, friends, remember, start hungry, stay handy, and I'll catch you in the next one.